Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Liang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. California is officially moving forward with its ban on selling gas-powered cars. The goal is to stop all sales by 2035. A missing teenage girl's body was identified this week. She was found inside a reservoir and still inside a vehicle. And election funding is well underway, this time with California's governor throwing his weight behind a state that stirred some drama in recent months. We'll look at where his funds are going. California air regulators voted today to ban the sale of new gasoline cars by 2035. The decision sets interim targets to phase the cars out. The measure is a historic one in the United States and will be one of the first such bans worldwide.
Madam Chair, the motion passes.
All right, yay!
The California Air Resources Board voted Thursday to adopt sweeping regulations to require all new cars sold in the Golden State to be electric or plug-in hybrid by 2035.
With the phasing out of new sales of internal combustion engine vehicles, this could well be the final set of major criteria pollutant emission standards for new light-duty conventional vehicles.
The board's new rules would also set interim quotas for zero-emission vehicles, focusing on new models. Starting with 2026 models, 35% of new vehicles sold in California would be required to be zero-emission vehicles. That quota would gradually increase each year until it reaches 100% by 2035.
I just really want to thank all of the hard work that went into building this package and working with stakeholders and putting together something that is world-changing.
The rules would not impact used vehicles, allowing them to stay on the roads. The rules won't be immediate and are set to begin going into effect in 2026. The board was allowed to vote on the measure after both the state legislature and Governor Gavin Newsom deferred the issue to them.
A body that was found over the weekend was confirmed to be Kylie Rodney. An autopsy confirmed it was the California teenager who had gone missing on August 6.
A body that was pulled out of the Prosser Reservoir last Sunday has been identified as 16-year-old Kylie Rodney. She was last seen attending a large youth party earlier this month at the Reservoir campground in Truckee, California. Rodney's disappearance triggered huge search parties by multiple law enforcement agencies and underwater searches by volunteers and dive teams. On Monday, the Nevada County Sheriff's Department said in a press release that a vehicle with a deceased individual had been found approximately 55 feet offshore by a volunteer dive group called Adventurers with Purpose.
We did receive some information of the recovery of the vehicle that we've been searching for, and it was located inside the Prosser Lake. It's located within a search zone that we have been searching since the very beginning of our operation. We are very fortunate that we had the assistance of a volunteer group, the Adventures with Purpose.
Rodney's family released a statement on Monday that confirmed the teenager's death and thanked the hundreds of volunteers and law enforcement agencies that had helped recover her body. It stated, quote, "While we accept this sadness cast under death's shadow, the rising sun shines light upon us, reminding us not to mourn our loss, but to celebrate Kylie's spirit and the gift that we all received in knowing her." Both the Placer County and Nevada County Sheriff's Departments issued a comment on Facebook that stated, "This is an ongoing investigation and no other information is available at this time." The California Highway Patrol will also begin conducting a traffic fatality investigation.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is getting involved in the Florida gubernatorial race. He's donating to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' Democratic challenger. Newsom is donating $100,000 to the campaign of Charlie Crist, who won the Democratic nomination in the Florida gubernatorial primary this Tuesday. The California governor tweeted today, "Time to make Ron DeSantis a one-term governor, who will join me in helping Charlie become the next governor of Florida." Crist served as the Florida governor from 2007 to 2011. He is currently a member of Congress. Republican Governor DeSantis is running for a second term, and the Cook Political Report says he is likely to win. The California Attorney General has issued a new travel ban against the state of Georgia, effective immediately, for all activities funded by the state. Georgia is now the 22nd state that California has added to its ban list.
Attorney General Rob Bonta released a statement last week calling for the immediate ban for any state-funded travel to Georgia. He is criticizing a new Georgia law that prohibits biological boys from competing in girls' school sports. Bonta says that the bill is, quote, transphobic. His press release stated that blocking transgender youth from playing sports isn't just discriminatory, it's government overreach, and it's happening in states across the country. Rather than protecting personal freedoms, state legislatures are going out of their way to invent a problem and target the rights of children. Georgia House Bill 1084 was signed into law last April by Governor Brian Kemp. The legislation, known as Protect Students First Act, mainly bans classroom instruction that teaches, quote, divisive concepts. But lawmakers also added a stipulation that requires student athletes to compete only under the sex listed on their birth certificate. A spokesperson for Kemp's office commented on the ban, saying unless Attorney General Bonta plans on banning companies and film projects from moving to Georgia from California, this will have little impact on our state. Under Assembly Bill 1887, California is restricted from funding certain state-sponsored travel. The bill prohibits state employees, agencies, commissions, officers, and members from traveling to a state that has enacted laws against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. Arizona is also expected to be added to the list at the end of September.
Many websites track user data for various reasons, ranging from selling personal info to product recommendations. In California, the Attorney General and a large cosmetics retailer recently settled a consumer privacy lawsuit based on just that. NTD's David Lamb reports.
California Attorney General Rob Bonta announced on Wednesday a $1.2 million settlement regarding consumer privacy with cosmetics retail giant Sephora.
As we all know, data is power, and these days everyone wants it. Corporations collect and sell troves of your data in order to know intimate details about your life on a scale we couldn't have imagined not even 20 years ago. Your online habits and locations are constantly tracked, your behaviors.
After conducting an enforcement sweep of online retailers in June 2021, Bonta alleged the company failed to disclose to consumers that it was selling their personal information. It failed to process user requests to opt out of sale via user-enabled global privacy controls, and that it did not remedy these violations within the 30-day period currently allowed by the California Consumer Privacy Act. Sephora agreed to pay the $1.2 million in penalties and make changes, including clarifying its online disclosures. Sephora responded to NTD in a statement saying, Sephora respects consumers' privacy and strives to be transparent about how their personal information is used to improve their Sephora experience and product recommendations.
It's time for companies to get the memo, protect consumer data, honor their privacy rights. It's really quite simple and very straightforward.
Sephora said the settlement is not an admission of liability and that it is already complying with state law. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
A former Orange County jail inmate has won a suit, suing the county for what happened when she was under arrest. She will be getting about $500,000 if she accepts. NTD's Bill Thomas has more.
Southern California's Orange County has agreed to pay $480,000 to an inmate who was pregnant but suffered a miscarriage after sheriff's deputies stopped at a Starbucks while driving her to a hospital. Sandra Quinones, who is no longer in custody, alleged in a federal lawsuit that sheriff staff delayed treatment after her water broke while she was in jail. County supervisors this week unanimously approved the payment, but Quinones must formally accept the settlement before it becomes final. Her lawyer, Dick Herman, told the Orange County Register, quote, "That's a very good result for someone badly treated in the jail." Herman also said Quinones is homeless and mentally ill. The lawsuit said no jail staff responded for 2 hours after Quinones pushed a call button in her cell when her water broke on March 28, 2016. Then, instead of being put in an ambulance, Quinones was given a ride to a hospital in a patrol car, but not until deputies stopped for coffee, the lawsuit alleged. Quinones was hospitalized, but the fetus did not survive, according to court filings. Sheriff's officials declined to comment on the settlement. According to the Register, the lawsuit accused deputies of acting toward Quinones' civil rights and medical condition with, quote, deliberate indifference. Bill Thomas, NTD News, California.
We are going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we've got for you when we come back. The state capitol has banned homeless encampments in several areas of the city. While opponents made their voices heard, the clearing effort will begin soon. Despite the school staff efforts, thousands of students in Los Angeles Unified absent during the first week of school. That's after loosening strict COVID restrictions. San Diego welcomed a new baby rhino. It's healthy and running through as much mud as it can. The baby also comes from a restoration effort for the species. That and more on California Today. The shores of the Sacramento River will soon see a major cleanup effort. That comes after leaders have voted to ban homeless camps in public areas.
Member Frost.
Aye.
And Member Natoli.
Aye.
And the ordinance is passed by unanimous vote.
The Sacramento City Council unanimously passed 3 ordinances on Tuesday that would ban homeless encampments in public spaces.
I think some very good information shared, and we heard from folks who are living on the parkway, living homeless at this point in time. And
the decision will ban camping from sidewalks along American River Parkway, Dry Creek Parkway, flood levees, fire risk zones, schools, and libraries. Homeless activists criticized the board's decision.
But the ordinances being considered here today are not solutions. All these ordinances will do is displace people. All these ordinances will do is destroy people's belongings. All these ordinances will bring is death.
Most of my friends are on the island and they're like 62 to 68 years old. They've been there for like 20 years. There's no way that they're only going to have 48 hours, not even 72. They used to give us 72 hours to leave, to move.
If you send these ordinances through, what the officers are already doing out there is going to get worse and more people are going to die.
But those supporting the ban assure homeless advocates that they ask park rangers to help preserve the community, not harm them.
The community is asking them to enforce ordinances and public safety and health in our parks. And so they're not going out there to harass or punish or criminalize anyone. They are responding to the community as a whole. We ask them to go out, please, and help us.
The decision would keep sidewalks clean and safe for children going to school.
And I do have some videos, but I'm not going to show them. I did capture the guy that stops and delivers the drugs with his boom box at all hours of the night, the screaming, the yelling, fear of a guy going to kill his girlfriend because they fight constantly.
We are not anti-homeless, we are pro-environment. Thank you.
In a statement, the executive director for the American River Parkway Foundation applauded the board's decision. There are 2,000 to 3,000 illegal campers on the parkway. We're experiencing environmental and humanitarian crises we've never seen before. But focusing only on enforcement will lead to whack-a-mole and never truly address the issue. The measures take effect after 30 days. Public spaces will be cleared starting late September.
With a variety of activities and incredible views of the city, Griffith Park in Los Angeles is a popular destination for locals and tourists. Visiting the park, though, may come with a price, as law enforcement officers tell us crime is on the rise. NTD's Bill Thomas has more.
Organized theft rings from Northern California are targeting the vehicles of tourists and other visitors at LA's Griffith Park, the enormous urban wilderness that's home to some of the city's most famous attractions. At a press conference this week, LAPD officers said that thieves break into vehicles, particularly rental cars, in the most popular areas of the park and take off with valuables in seconds.
We post these signs because there's been an increase in the number of vehicle break-ins here in this park during the summer. You will see on the table some of the things that have been taken from our visitors and tourists. Car thieves target property left in plain sight, such as luggage, purses, electronics, laptops, tablets, expensive sunglasses, even passports. Very difficult to replace this.
The mountainous park sits on over 4,200 acres in the middle of the city. Griffith Park is home to the Observatory, the Hollywood Sign, the Greek Theater, the LA Zoo, the Autry Museum of the American West, the Traveltown Railroad Museum, and the LA Equestrian Center. It's also a popular location for hikers, joggers, and bike riders. The park is patrolled by city police, park rangers, and community volunteers. Detective Michael Ventura said some of the thieves are local, but surveillance camera footage of license plates shows that many are organized groups that use rental cars to drive down from Northern California to Griffith Park.
When they see a rental car up here in the park, there's a greater likelihood that there will be money, credit cards, IDs, possibly passports, and/or valuables. So those tend to be targeted and hit much more often.
Ventura said his department has primarily been sharing information about the crimes with authorities in San Francisco and Oakland. He also said the thieves look for rental cars that can easily be identified by markings the rental companies use to scan vehicles going in and out of their lots. He urged visitors to leave their valuables at their lodging or lock them out of sight in the trunk of their car. Bill Thomas, NTD News, Los Angeles.
Thousands of students were absent from the first week of school in Los Angeles. The district has loosened most of the restrictions in hope to increase attendance rate.
About 36,000 students were absent for the first week of school, according to data from Los Angeles Unified School District. The average attendance rate was 91.7%. In April, 200,000 students were found to be chronically absent, defined as having missed more than 9% of their classes. Superintendent Alberto Carvalho implemented a strategy to reconnect students, including visiting their homes over the summer. He also plans to launch a program in the 2022-2023 school year that would create a team of counselors tasked with preventing chronic absenteeism. The district's high absenteeism rate last year was potentially worsened by virtual learning and its COVID-19 protocols, which included a mask mandate for all students and staff, weekly testing, and home quarantine. This year, the district has loosened most of these restrictions, hoping the attendance rate will increase.
While fraternities and sororities are integral to campus life for some college students, several organizations have broken their ties with a large university. The disaffiliation comes after disagreements over parties and sexual assault allegations.
6 fraternities have disaffiliated from the University of Southern California as of last Friday. They left in protest of stricter rules against parties implemented earlier this year. The new rules were formed after hundreds of USC students protested on campus during fall 2021 regarding multiple sexual assault allegations. They also spoke against alleged drugging incidents at several of the university's fraternity houses last year, as reported by the university and several news outlets. Spokesmen from the fraternities' national organizations and some USC chapters were not immediately available for comment. These fraternities will no longer have access to a wide range of college events and branding. After cutting ties with USC, the 6 fraternities formed what's called the University Park Interfraternity Council, with leaders from each fraternity overseeing their own policies. In an Instagram post, the new council defended its actions, claiming its partnership with USC has deteriorated over the past several years. That's after USC shut down its activities for nearly half of the 2021-22 school year. Under the new policies, fraternities must complete pre-event and post-event reports and risk prevention plans.
The San Diego Zoo is welcoming a new baby rhino as part of the zoo's breeding initiative. The rhino calf was caught on film frolicking in the mud with its mom.
With a hop and a jump, a baby rhino plays around in the mud in the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. The San Diego Zoo is celebrating the birth of its southern white rhino calf. The unnamed male was born on August 6 and made his debut with his mother, Livia, this week. The zoo says Livia and her mate, Jay Gregory, conceived the calf through natural breeding. The baby arrived as part of the zoo's breeding initiative, working to save the near-threatened white rhino. Zookeepers say the calf is healthy and full of energy. Mom, quite naturally, adores and protects her baby. About 18,000 southern white rhinos remain in native habitats worldwide.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for an update on sports.
I'm Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup. The PGA Tour's top golfers have committed to competing against each other on a more regular basis, while the bonus pool for players who positively impact the game was doubled to $100 million, Commissioner Jay Monahan said on Wednesday. The changes represent the PGA Tour's most serious response to the threat posed by the Saudi Arabia-backed LIV Golf Series that launched in June, and has lured some big-name players away from the US-based circuit with staggering amounts of money. In announcing the changes, Monahan said he was inspired by the PGA Tour members and singled out those who held a players-only meeting last week to discuss a number of proposals in the face of the LIV Golf threat. The changes require top golfers, assuming they qualify, to play at least a 20-event schedule consisting of the 4 majors, the Player Championship, 12 other elevated events with average purses of $20 million, and at least 3 other PGA Tour events of the players' choosing. For the 2022-23 season, a top player will be defined as those who finish in the top 20 under the current Player Impact Program, as well as those who finish in the top 20 under the revised criteria for the bonus pool. So far, LIV Golf has scooped 5 of the players who finished among the top 10 of the inaugural Player Impact Program, a group that consists of Phil Mickelson, Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, and Bubba Watson. When asked if players who joined LIV might be able to return to the PGA Tour after seeing the latest changes, Monahan said he would not lift their suspensions. Joey Gallo continued his revival with a 2-run double, and Andrew Heaney struck out 10 over 6 innings as Los Angeles topped visiting Milwaukee. Cody Bellinger and Austin Barnes combined to drive in 6 runs in the bottom 2 spots of the order as the Dodgers won for the 18th time in 22 games this month. Heaney yielded 2 runs on 4 hits with 1 walk. Dodgers 12, Brewers 6. Matt Manning tossed 6 scoreless innings for his first win of the season, and Detroit scored 6 runs with 2 outs in the 5th to defeat visiting San Francisco. Manning gave up 5 hits, didn't issue a walk, and struck out 8. Tommy La Stella had 2 hits and drove in the lone San Francisco run. Giant starter Logan Webb was charged with all 6 runs on 5 hits in 4 2/3 innings. The Giants left 10 runners on base and went 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Tigers 6, Giants 1. Jose Ramirez hit 2 homers, and Cal Quantrill blanked his former team for 7 innings as visiting Cleveland defeated San Diego to complete a 2-game interleague sweep. Quantrill held the Padres to 5 hits and a walk with 6 strikeouts over 7 innings. It was Quantrill's 6th straight win and the Guardians' 9th straight following Quantrill's starts. Ramirez and Oscar Gonzalez then went back-to-back to open a 5-run 4th against Padres starter Blake Snell, who was tagged for 6 runs on 8 hits with 4 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings. Guardians 7, Padres 0. That's all for California sports. Back to you.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with the friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through email california.today@ntd.com. I'm Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.